يا الله يا رب العالمين، يا رحمن يا رحيم يا ربي. Let the Ummah rise again. Ya Allah Ya Rabb al-Alamin, Ya Rahman Ya Rahim Ya Rabbi. Let the Ummah rise again. Let us see daylight again, once
opportunities to read so many of his articles, contributions, Islamically and otherwise, on TV, on radio. He has always been in the forefront. Anything Islam, anything human rights activism is always there. It has been there for us for years, and may Almighty Allah grant him the grace to witness more fruitful years for the service of the earth. Amen. The person I'm talking about is a human rights activist. When we're talking of human rights activism, it's cut across religions. It's cut across tribes. It's not particular about the religion or tribe or wherever I come from. This is wrong, it is wrong. This is right, it is right. And this is how it is done. So that's our lecturer today. We always see in the forefront. He is a professor of Islamic eschatology and a graduate of Al-Azhar University, Cairo. Our man did BA honors in a simultaneous translation, Arabic, English, and French. Wow. It is very rare to see somebody that is fluent, that is eloquent, that is good, Arabic, English, and French. Which means anywhere in the world, this man is speak. And that is why we always see him in forefront. And with so much rely on him, we believe in him. He has never betrayed us, and he will never betray us. If you look at his status, ordinarily, if you invite him, you tell him, no, I don't want to be there, I don't want to be. Even if just people will give up, our professor will come, will deliver. Because he's working for Allah, and Allah is working for him. He's working for Islam, and Islam is working for him. And he's working for humanity, and humanity is working for him. He has been in the forefront of Muslim rights concern, which we are all aware. Apart from that, he has been a lecturer and a researcher in Lagos State University since October 1984 to date. So you can see the number of years he has been working, and he has reached through the rank to the level of a professor. So what we are expecting today is something that is classical, something that is different, something that is unique, and the stuff is made of is here to give us the stuff as he has been doing all over the world. May Almighty Allah grant us the grace to see more of him around. He is no other person, because I know most of the young people here must have been hearing him names, but they don't have the opportunity to actually meet him live. This other person that Professor Lakin, former Dean of Faculty of Arts, Lagos State University, and is still a lecturer in the university since 1984. Cameroon. You are welcome, sir.
My personal title for him is Aluta Forever.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين سيد الأنبياء خاتم النبيين إمام المرسلين حبيبنا قائدنا شافعنا إمامنا محمد رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم وعلى آله وأصحابه ومن تبعه بالإحسان إلى يوم الدين. أما بعد، إخواتي أخواتي في منظمة companion صحابة الرسول صلى الله عليه وسلم. I seek refuge from the accursed devil and I begin in the name of Allah, the most compassionate, the most merciful. May the peace and blessings of Almighty Allah be upon the person of the Holy Prophet Muhammad, his entire household, and all those who follow him until doomsday. I want to, the Amir of the companion, sir, and our spiritual leader, my Imam, my learned brother, our brothers, our sisters, our mothers in Islam, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I thank the MC, Brother Bello. Muri was established in 1994. I started in Lasso in 1984. That's quite correct. And I want to say that whatever has been ascribed to us has not been done by us. Because even if human beings want to do they have the power? Do I have the power? No, I don't. I have so many weaknesses, so many faults, and it is Allah alone that can forgive me and that can continue to elevate, or that can give me the power to do anything. And even then, here are the brothers and the mothers who give us the moral support, this financial support. When I come to the companion, I know I've come to the midst of people who stood their ground and gave me support and gave moral support. If you hear Murid's name, it is not Murid alone. My Amir is here. It's always counseling, it's always advising, and it's always sending information. No human right can perform alone without the public giving it information. If a teacher in the school, like Murid is holding a meeting this morning, we always hold meetings every fourth Sunday of the month, which incidentally coincides with Companions Usrah Day. And that has militated against my coming to the companion, over the years. I always told you, amen. But I want to tell you that even this morning, a sister, one Mrs. Ahmed from Ogba, she mentioned the name of the school. She attended our meeting and complained before I left about the oppression of Muslim students and teachers of hierarchy in that school by the school principal. I give that as an example. If people don't come forward to give you information, human rights cannot perform. I want to specifically appreciate our Amir. He's a wonderful man, a good leader, a performer. And the companion is lucky, is fortunate to have somebody like Al-Hajj, Mr. Kakadi, Uyefeso, as his Amir. The humility of my brother here is unsurpassed, is exemplary. Brother Joma, because when you call it, you say Jimo, right? You say Jimo, but we call him Brother Joma. The knowledge is there. He is deep, and he doesn't show it. If you are not careful, you will think he wants you to teach him the Quran. He wants you to teach him how to read Fatiha, whereas he should be teaching us. I'm not told that He has mobilized support for struggles of Muslims in several parts of the southwest in particular. Just like Brother Oyefeso has been doing. Murik is not just those people who you think are members of Murik. It is people in the companion that are always supporting Murik, and we deeply appreciate it. I don't want to give this lecture without acknowledging this immense support. Of course, I will not tell you somebody who is owing Murik a check. I will not tell you about it. He's owing Murik a check. He promised Murik a check. He's yet to give Murik that check. But he will be at the back there. I won't tell you his name. The period. I must encourage our members, lest I forget, who are present here today, members of the company. After congratulating you, I must encourage you to continue in this manner. Continue this line of action. The companion is a unique body. The males, and of course, I know about the criterion, which is the body of the females. And I want to encourage those who probably came because of today's lecture to join this group, to join this organization, because it is a dynamic body that is most suitable for the struggles of the moment. Today we are discussing post-independence Nigeria and Muslim assessment. It's a very wide topic. I had submitted the topic before I took a second look, realizing after all that it's almost all-encompassing. All-encompassing in the sense that it involves discussions on materialism. You must discuss the economy of Nigeria. You must critically look at the level of corruption. You must discuss security. You must not forget to mention leadership and assess the role of the leaders in Nigeria. And of course, the position of Islam yesterday and today. And envisage, of course, that of tomorrow. I want to pay a huge tribute to my brother and jihadist, foremost jihadist, Brother Dawood. When I saw him, I wanted to assume that it couldn't be him. I knew he was in London. Well, one of the imams in Syria in those days used to be in Syria. He would pray somewhere in Syria, in Damascus, to the exact. And his zuri would be offered in the Haram, in Makkah. And yet without riding a horse, without riding a camel. And he would traverse between the regions of Syria and that of Saudi Arabia. That's the power of Sufism. I pay respect. I will start with materialism. Nigeria in post-colonial era. Nigeria in the past 3 centuries. Or is it 4 or 5? What has been the thinking? What has been our thinking, our mentality in those days? And what do we do today? In businessmen and women, farmers, etc., etc., went about their duties. Everybody, almost everybody, wanted to be honest, wanted to be a performer, wanted to be responsible citizens. The farmers would bring their goods, their products. And that was why, in the north, we had the groundnut pyramids. In the south here, we had the cocoa plantations. In the east, we had the rubber plantations. And Nigeria was doing well. We were not fabulously rich, but we were not hungry. We were not greedy. And the level of crime was very, very low. So minimal that you couldn't even talk about it. People talk about how they trekked from Ojo through the bush path to Lagos Island. From Igando through bush paths to Ikorodu without being molested, even in the night. In my hometown, under where the Army of London rules, I don't want to mention the hometown, but our king is the Army of London. In my hometown, we will place our tubers of yam. If you had yam, 2 tubers, and you want to sell for 2 cowries, you will place the yams at the junction without anybody watching it. And then you put 2 stones on the yams or beside the yams to indicate the price, meaning 2 cowries. 3 stones make 3 cowries. Passers by will pass by. Those who want to, it's only those who want to buy that will touch it. And they will drop the amount. They will drop the money. Who would try it today? If you leave your shop for a moment, just to say salam alaikum to somebody in the next shop, before you can say Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, your goods are gone for good. And they will tell you, in fact, people will abuse you instead of catching the thief or trying to catch the thief. Nobody remembers the thief anymore. They will say, no, you are not wise enough. Today, our homes have turned into our prisons. Nobody builds houses or lives in flats anymore without burglar-proof, iron gates, burglar-proof at the door, burglar-proof at the bedroom door, burglar-proof in the at the windows, on the windows. It is so bad that people get burned up when there is fire accident, just because we've surrounded ourselves with iron all over the place. The prisoners are free. Nigerians have become prisoners. Today, we all want money. The teachers in those days thought for dignity, they thought for knowledge. They trained students and pupils because they wanted those pupils to be responsible citizens tomorrow. Today, I am a teacher too. In my constituency, that is where we deal in handouts. Handouts that are just 5 pages. This is what we sell for 5,000 naira, 10,000 naira. We, in our constituency, we are the ones who tell students who we are supervising, whose project we are supervising. So, I will take your chapter 1 or chapter 2. If you bring bring something good for me. And if you don't bring it, the lecturer refuses to collect. That is talking about my constituency. What about your constituency? What about your shops in the market? The baits, the rice that you sell, the clothes, the carpenter, the tailor. All of us are corrupt today. We are after materialism. We are after the money, not after performance. The teacher is after whatever he could get from the pupil. They are now asked to bring brooms. They are asked to bring chalk, not to write on the board. But you know what? Today it is money, money, money. 17-year-old kids, 17-year-old kids kidnap 13-year-old boys for ritual. It happened in the Lakin 2 or 3 years ago. A 17-year-old boy was caught. It was in the papers about a week ago. A 16-year-old boy kidnapped a 13-year-old boy, another 13-year-old boy, and sold him. He was, of course, he was caught. But if you caught one thief, or if you catch somebody once, he must have gone away with it several times. So, and the parents, what are the parents after today? Materials. How many of us encourage our children, our boys, our brothers, when they fill their camp forms? How many of us encourage them to fill Islamic studies? How many of us encourage our children to fill history, to read about the history of the Nigerian people? No, we all want our children to be engineers, to read banking, accounting, only, to read law, big liar. Somebody told me all lawyers are liars, except the Muslims among them. Somebody bless Muhammad. This is the trend. And this trend is alarming. And it calls for attention by Muslims generally. And by all parents, all Nigerian parents. We should start thinking in our homes, how can we be blaming the leaders? How can we be blaming the governors? How can we be blaming commissioners and ministers alone? What are we contributing? Are we not the same parents, the same fathers, the same mothers who sit down at home and call WAEC officials, general officials, and ask them to place our children in special centers? I want 6 credits. They will tell you it is 180,000 naira. It's not we will pay. You will tell them you will pay. You don't want your children to perform, to be tested for their true abilities. This is the extent of materialism in Nigeria today, in post-independence Nigeria. The Quran warns in chapter 104, verse 1 to 6, Surah Al-Humazah, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. وَيْلٌ لِكُلِّ هُمَزَةٍ لُمَزَةٍ الَّذِي جَمَعَ مَالًا وَعَدَّدَ يَحْسَبُ أَنَّ مَالَهُ أَخْلَدَ كَلَّا لَيُنبَذَّنَّ فِي الْحُطَمَةِ وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا الْحُطَمَةُ نَارُ اللَّهِ الْمُوقَدَةُ الَّتِي تَطَّلِعُ عَلَى الْأَفْئِدَةِ إِنَّهَا عَلَيْهِمْ مُؤْصَدَةٌ في عمل ممتد. The real causes those who accumulate wealth. Where are we taking this money? Where are we taking all all these vehicles, all these houses were accumulating? Why are we sending all our children to go for all banking, finance, business management, or business manipulation? Why? Why can't we sacrifice one or two in every family to study the work of Allah? Can you hear? Allah. Bima bima, ẹ má sùn gbàgbé, ẹ jẹ́ kọ́mọ yín ó kéwú. Bima bima, ẹ má sùn gbàgbé, ẹ jẹ́ kọ́mọ yín ó kéwú. Somebody bless me. I thank our mother. Unless we are prepared to lead by example, unless we are prepared to go into, to search knowledge about Allah and encourage our children to do so, spirituality will not be encouraged in our families. Everybody will follow materials. And we want to encourage and remind us that one of the problems we have today is that we didn't encourage our young children to study Islamic knowledge, to pursue Islamic knowledge. We are not saying all of them should. We are not saying don't study Western education. We are not like Boko Haram, who is anti-Western education. We say, okay, let's have Western education. But balance it up with knowledge about Allah. How pay Ekewuna, how pay Ekewuna, I ain't way my Kewulo Yoma, how pay Ekewuna, how pay Ekewuna, how pay Ekewuna, I ain't way my Kewulo Yoma. Government has the lion's share of the blame. States and federal governments have the lion's share of the blame of the trend of criminality and love for materialism. This is the same government who says it is fighting crime. It is the same government who plays down the study of religions. It's not in that way, it's not even Islamic studies alone. These days they are also discouraging the study of biblical studies in the universities. And so you have very few students in the department of religions. If people don't know about religion, then how do you expect them to fear Allah? How do you expect them to have some modicum of spirituality in them? Let me also remind you of the Quran chapter 102 verses 1 to 2. What we accumulate, what we put together cannot take us anywhere. It continues like that. Can it elongate your life? No. Materials acquired cannot elongate your life. But knowledge about Allah can improve your life. It can save society. Now that crime and corruption is dragging Nigeria down and truncating our progress, debilitating our economic strength, now is the time for us to look back and come to Allah and encourage the study of the Quran, the study of what you call Arabic and Kew. We take a look at corruption. Today, when you look at corruption, you want to wonder if it is in Nigeria alone. In the year 2001, Nigeria was voted most corrupt country. In 2003, Nigeria was classed second most corrupt country. In 2004, Nigeria was classed third most corrupt country. Officially in papers, in newspapers. And of course, you know the implication. The classification did not start on that day. It was done by Transparency International, TI. Based on studies they have conducted about Nigeria and our leaders, and the institutionalization of official corruption in several circles. You are aware. You are aware when Nigeria was ruled 26th poorest country, 20th hungriest country. You were there when the head of service in Abuja spent 17 million naira on servicing his generator alone. 17 million naira on servicing his generator for just 1 year. You were there when one of the governors in the east said, marked the funeral of his mother with $20 million. Only $20 million, not naira. And when the ambassador of Australia in Lagos here at the time learned about that, he swore to fight Nigeria at the international level. And of course also swore that they would not give Nigeria debt relief. Because if your governor spent this much money, then you must be profligate. Former Minister of Education, Ekoi, while ASU was on strike in Nigeria, went to Britain to celebrate, to mark his birthday, and he spent just 25 million marking his birthday. We can go on and on and on. And you look at this level of corruption, you find our leaders looking the other way. There was one leader who said, well, there may be corruption in Nigeria, but it's not a serious matter. There is a leader today now